Mountain News this morning. The partial government shutdown is entering its third day with Democrats and Republicans still divided over funding. And Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is one of 18 Democratic governors boycotting White House events.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome to Mountain News This Morning. I'm Neely Green here with you on this Monday, February 16th. The time is now 4:59, and let's check in with meteorologist Megan Duswell for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday to you too, Neely, and a foggy Monday at that. So as you're heading out the door this morning, make sure you're being aware of some patches of dense fog out and about. Here's a look at that dense fog advisory for those counties highlighted in that gray shade, mostly our northern counties. And while our fog hasn't really picked up just quite yet here in Kentucky, you can see the very dense fog just off to our west. That's what's going to make its way into our region over the next couple hours. And even though it's not showing some of those fog patches here in eastern Kentucky, you could still run into some of that this morning. Now, the good news is overall, though, we're just looking at some cloudy skies. We're not going to see any rain chances for your Monday, which is a great start to your week with temperatures right now in a mixture of the upper 30s and low 40s, with high temperatures for the day in the upper 50s and low 60s. Overall, not too bad of a forecast at all. High temperatures will be around that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock time frame. Neely.
Megan, thank you. 3 people were killed in a house fire in Leslie County. It happened along US 421 near the Hayden community Friday night. Fire crews were able to put out that fire, but KSB tells us the remains of 3 people were found inside. They've now been identified as 56-year-old Lisa Markham, 50-year-old Jadina Begley, and 84-year-old June Nance. The Thousand Sticks Volunteer Fire Department says there was also a teenager in the home who was taken to the hospital. The investigation remains ongoing and no foul play is suspected. This story is new this morning. A Bell County man has been indicted on a first-degree fetal homicide. 35-year-old Taylor D. Hart is accused of intentionally causing the death of an unborn child by repeatedly assaulting the pregnant mother, including inflicting blunt force trauma to her abdomen. Authorities say D. Hart was taken into custody Friday morning in Cumberland Gap, Tennessee, during a joint operation involving multiple law enforcement agencies. In addition to the indictment, D. Hart was also wanted for failure to appear, 2 probation violations in Kentucky, and a probation violation in Georgia connected to an armed robbery case. He is being held in the Claiborne County Jail and in Tennessee and is awaiting extradition back to Bell County. A second person has now been arrested in connection to a stolen payroll check from Bell County EMS. The Bell County Sheriff's Office says 23-year-old Caleb Chase Day is accused of cashing a stolen payroll check worth just over $1,100 at a gas station in Harlan. Troopers say when they tried to serve a warrant, Day ran behind a home and jumped a fence before being taken into custody a short time later. Day is charged with fleeing or evading police, theft by deception, and possession of a forged instrument. This comes after authorities arrested 24-year-old Emily Rain Long, an EMT with Bell County EMS, on Friday. Investigators say she stole the payroll check. Long is charged with theft by unlawful taking. The investigation is ongoing. It's now been more than 2 weeks since Nancy Guthrie was reported missing. Authorities are honing in on articles of clothing the suspect was seen wearing in security camera footage from the night that in the investigation. Today's show host Savannah Guthrie has posted a new video with a message for the person holding her mother. CBS News' Bradley Blackburn has more from New York.
We still have hope.
In a new video, Today's Show co-host Savannah Guthrie made this plea to whoever is holding her mother.
It is never too late to do the right thing.
Police believe Nancy Guthrie was taken from her home on February 1st. The FBI says a black glove found near her Arizona home is being tested for DNA and that it matches the gloves seen worn by the suspect in doorbell camera footage.
We've got to find that guy. Somebody out there knows who this is.
Authorities are asking for the public's help to find the suspect, who they believe is male, 5'9" or 5'10" tall, with an average build. Sources tell CBS News investigators have reviewed security camera video at this Tucson Walmart store as they focus on the black Ozark Trail hiker pack the suspect was wearing in the surveillance footage. The backpack is sold exclusively at Walmart. Friday, law enforcement searched a second house located less than 2 miles away from Guthrie's home and an SUV, though no arrests were made.
The whole world just wants to know where she is.
Members of the community signed a giant Bring Her Home banner hung outside of Tucson's local NBC affiliate.
I just think of, what if this was my mother, and I just feel so bad for them.
All hoping she'll be found as the search stretches into a third week. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
The FBI is now offering a $10,000 reward for information that leads to either the location of Nancy Guthrie or to the suspect. They are encouraging the public to reach out to the tip line set up by the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff's Department. The Department of Homeland Security is experiencing a partial shutdown. This comes as Congress wasn't able to come to terms on a way to fund the agency by the end of Friday. Most DHS workers will remain employed, although many of them will not get paychecks until the lapse in funding is resolved. The DHS is the last federal agency that needs funding for the rest of the 2026 fiscal year, which goes through the end of September. Congress won't hold any votes on the matter today due to President's Day.
ICE is totally out of control, and they need to be reined in.
In Minneapolis over the weekend, another memorial was held for Alex Pretty and Renee Good, who were killed by law enforcement agents during the surge. The Minneapolis mayor says the immigration crackdown cost his city $203 million in January alone, and he's now asking the federal government for financial assistance. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is one of 18 Democratic governors boycotting White House events. The move comes after President Trump did not invite any Democratic governors to a bipartisan meeting happening this Friday. The meeting typically includes governors, President Trump, and other White House leaders. Trump invited all governors to the event last Wednesday in a letter that called it a misunderstanding in scheduling. But 2 Democratic governors were still left off the invite list. Trump said on social media that he didn't invite governors Wes Moore and Jared Solis because he didn't think they were, quote, worthy of being there. This prompted 18 other governors to release a statement saying they're boycotting the event, including Beshear.
The president has just turned it into drama, inviting and disinviting others. It no longer looks like it's going to be productive at all. At this point, I'm not going. If you're not going to invite all the Democratic governors, this chair of the DGA isn't going to be there.
All governors who signed the boycott statement are Democrats. There are 5 Democratic governors who were not listed on the statement. Saturday marked 8 years since the shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, that left 14 students and 3 staff members dead. Friday, schools in the district held remembrance for those who died on Valentine's Day in 2018. There was a moment of silence at Ramblewood Elementary in Coral Springs, where students were also assembled weekend packs for families in need. Survivor Jacqueline Corin is now executive director for March for Our Lives. She says the shooting helped improve federal gun safety laws, but says there's more work to be done.
I think Parkland did change so much. I think it awakened a generation. We actually put a name to this issue we were all feeling. And unfortunately, so many kids still feel when they go to school every single day. And more than anything, it actually, started a conversation. And of course, we want to continue that conversation, especially going into this year's midterms.
Some lawmakers in Washington are pushing new measures to prevent future school shootings, including strengthening school doors, streamlining federal support for security, and creating a national program to prevent targeted violences at schools, workplaces, and houses of worship. Well, thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. One photographer played Cupid this Valentine's Day with a camera and a pair of strangers. We'll have that story.
And the chance for the 70-degree mark is in the forecast.